fine. I'm fine. Don't worry.
Go
Calm
away.
down.
It's
Calm
a crime.
down.
Go away.
Come. What's a crime?
You cannot
filming in public?
photograph people's our computers.
We have computers.
Anything the eyes can see, I
Nope,
can videotape.
you cannot.
You can walk right
It's
now.
time
That's
to
how
go.
that goes.
This is a crime scene.
Don't touch me.
Then,
Don't touch
then
me.
leave.
I have committed no crime.
Then leave. We're asking you,
You have
to
no
leave. This
authority
is a crime
unless
scene.
I've committed a
We're
crime.
you're in a crime scene.
Tape it
so
off.
Exit. We don't have to.
Where's the tape? That's very rude and unprofessional.
I don't care.
What's
Just
your
like
name and
so
badge
take a
number?
walk. Don't have to give it
Name
to
and
you.
badge number?
Don't
Not
have
part
to
of your
give it.
policy of the Portland
Nope.
Police?
Because you're not. This is not part of your thing.
So you're in your official duties?
I am.
And your name and badge number?
Don't have to give that to you, sir. Time
Don't
to go.
have to give it.
You don't. You are being recorded.
All right. I would like to submit a public records request.
Go ahead. You have to call records.
No, I can do it in person. I can do it in
Not with
person
me.
verbally. You are a public employee. You have to take it or you break the law.
Excuse me?
So hanging out in the hallway. Y'all live in the building?
Yeah, I live here. I live
Alright, so what apartment you live in?
2E.
Go in your apartment.
But but what we doing though? We just hanging out. We just talking about Facebook.
Alright, we getting complaints, alright?
Right? Or on complaints about what?
What you mean complaints about
You
what?
getting complaints about what?
Complaints about noise complaints. You
Noise
got that
complaint?
on your phone? You
Yes.
getting complaints about noise complaints. Do you have
What-
ID
what's
to
noise
verify you live in the building?
What's no complaint? I'm not
Do you have
trespassing.
ID? How do I know that? Do
I'm
you
not
live in the
trespassing.
building? How do I know that?
Even if I don't live in the building, I'm not trespassing because somebody live in the building. I'm a visitor.
Alright, so I gotta verify that. Do you have ID, sir?
What? Verify what?
That you're here visiting somebody or that you live
I'm
in the
visiting
building?
him right here.
This young gentleman, go ahead, ask the question.
Do you have permission to be on the property?
And what would you do if I don't answer that question? What did you just say? You have the right to do what?
I have the right to investigate further whether or not you belong on this property.
And how would you do that?
I would contact the property owner.
Why don't you do that?
I will.
Thank you.
But first of all, I need you to identify yourself as part of the investigation.
This is private property.
Yes, it is, and you're on it.
Why don't you call the property owner?
I need to determine who you are so I can call the property owner and find out if you're allowed to be here or not.
How would you know who the property owner is?
I can call the county and find out who owns the property.
Why don't you do that?
I need to identify you first.
The primary issue in our first incident stems from bystanders assuming the property owner was trespassing, leading to a 911 call that resulted in the officer's intervention. However, the officer's actions and approach to the situation were legally flawed. In California, police officers cannot legally detain someone unless they have reasonable suspicion that a crime is being committed. But here, the officer admits he doesn't even know if the man belongs on the property. That means this detention is illegal and violates the Fourth Amendment's protection against unreasonable searches and seizures. California's trespassing law requires that a person be on someone else's property without permission, but this officer failed to confirm ownership before accusing the man of trespassing. What's worse, once the property owner asked the officer to leave and he refused, the officer himself became the trespasser. Instead of immediately demanding ID and detaining the person, the officer had multiple ways to confirm ownership. He could have checked tax records, contacted dispatch, or asked for proof of residence, but instead, he jumped straight to detaining the property owner without evidence of a crime. This is a textbook example of an unlawful seizure. The officer detained a citizen without legal justification, violating their Fourth Amendment rights.
I did not call 911.
I'm not asking that.
What's your badge number, sir?
160.
160. Okay, so 911 call is irrelevant because I didn't call 911, okay?
No, it
So now
is
you're-
relevant because I'm here and now you're here, and I don't know if you have the right to be on this property. It's a house under construction. Do you belong to this house?
Why don't you call the property owner?
I need to determine who you are so I can call the property owner and find out if you're allowed to be here or not.
How would you know who the property owner is?
I can call the county and find out who owns the property.
Why don't you do that?
I need to identify you first.
I'm on private property.
Okay? And if you shouldn't be on private property, then you're trespassing.
Thank you. So why don't you determine that?
Well, I can.
There's no
determine it.
if you call the property owner.
Okay. Well, then I need to detain you then.
The property
To
owner, is that
determine
correct?
if you have rights to be on the property, yes.
So you're gonna first identify me.
Yes.
So you are gonna first identify me,
Yes.
right? And then what do you plan to do?
See if you have rights.
This is private property, sir. I would like you to leave.
Do you own the property?
This is private. What did you just say?
You don't own this property.
And what did you say to that answer of that question that you just answered yourself?
What?
You just answered that question yourself.
I'm not leaving the property. I'm not leaving the property.
Before detaining someone, an officer needs evidence that a crime is happening. Simply not knowing if a person belongs somewhere is not a valid reason to detain them. The first thing any trained officer should do in this situation is verify who owns the property. That means checking property records, contacting dispatch, or requesting reasonable proof without immediately escalating the situation. And if the person refuses to provide such proof, they are still protected under the Constitution. Before jumping to conclusions, the officer should have spoken with the person who called 911. If the report was based on assumption or bias, the officer should have exercised better judgment instead of detaining an innocent person. If the property owner tells the officer to leave and there is no clear crime, the officer must leave immediately. Refusing to do so turns the officer into the trespasser.
You need to get off my property, sir.
What?
You need to get off my property.
No, I'm not.
You need to get off my property. You need to get off my property. Why are you not getting off my property?
51 about with one.
And I know your bullshit people are gonna come back here. Get the fuck off my land, bitch. Okay?
I just
Get-
want you to understand why I got.
And I told you to get the fuck off.
But I didn't know whether or not you belonged here, and then you verified that, and so I.
You didn't have to do that before you
What
called.
if it was somebody else on your property? What if it was somebody else that was on your property?
You are such a loser. Nobody gives a shit about you, okay? Nobody and I feel threatened. My civil rights are threatened by the state of California, by this douchebag who's fucking Choctaw. Look at him. Sacagawea. Oh, look at you. I'm not calming down. You know what? And you're gonna see me. You've just looked at my minivan. Now you're gonna fucking see me on this street, and I know you're gonna give me a ticket, you dumbass. You know what it is, dude? It's 500 calories of M&Ms, dude. Get the fuck off this land. You come again, I'm calling the police, okay? There's a man with a gun who has a right to call more white men with a gun on land that has been seceded from this great state of California. This is our Das Acre stand, and this motherfucker's gonna get off. Okay? Sayonara.
The property owner could file a lawsuit for unlawful detention. Courts have ruled that police cannot detain someone without reasonable suspicion of a crime. Ironically, the officer became the actual trespasser when he refused to leave after being asked by the property owner. That alone could justify a trespassing complaint against him. The officer's actions need to be reported, and these erroneous acts are serious enough to result in suspension or even termination for misconduct, unless the department is corrupt. In a similar incident, an individual was questioned by police in the hallway of an apartment building due to noise complaints from other residents. The officer insisted on verifying the person's residency or visitor status, while the individual asserted his rights and requested a supervisor.
Yes.
What? There's no one hanging out.
Excuse me?
So hanging out in the hallway. Y'all live in the building?
Yeah, I live here. I live
Alright, so what apartment you live in?
2E.
Go in your apartment.
But but what we doing though? We just hanging out. We just talking about baseball.
Alright, we getting complaints, alright?
Right? Or on complaints about what?
What you mean complaints about
You
what?
getting complaints about what?
Complaints about noise complaints. You
Noise
got that
complaint?
on your phone? You
Yes.
getting complaints about noise complaints. Do you have
What-
ID
what's
to
noise
verify you live in the building?
What's no complaint? I'm not
Do you have
trespassing.
ID? How do I know that? Do
I'm
you
not
live in the
trespassing.
building? How do I know that?
Even if I don't live in the building, I'm not trespassing because somebody live in the building. I'm a visitor.
Alright, so I gotta verify that. Do you have ID, sir?
What? Verify what?
That you're here visiting somebody or that you live
I'm
in the
visiting
building?
him right here.
So all we doing is hanging.
Alright.
Okay.
Can I see your ID? Or can I see your ID to verify that you live in the building?
You don't have to see my ID because I'm telling you.
How much on my ID? How much on my
Unfortunately, sir, people lie. That's why I have to verify it.
Lying
You
about what? I
understand?
told you I don't live in the building. I'm telling you I'm a visitor. So how am I
Okay,
lying?
so I have to verify that.
That what?
Wait, hold on. What's on
That you're a visitor visiting him. And I have to verify that he lives in the building.
officer?
Yo,
What's the joke about, sir?
the joke is because you
What? You what? Okay.
you no not okay.
Excuse me?
It's not okay.
Do you have ID, sir?
I don't have to give you no ID. If anything, you could bring me a supervisor here.
Bro, just chill, man.
Nah, if anything, he could bring me a supervisor here. I'm not breaking any laws.
Bro, they always do this.
That's what I'm trying to verify.
What, bro, am I breaking? Or am I being detained right now? Or am I being detained? Am I being detained?
Sir.
Am I being detained? I don't answer questions. Am I being detained?
Are you refusing to give your ID?
I'm not refusing to do anything. It's my rights, right?
Can we see ID?
It's my rights, right? It's my rights, right?
Can we see ID?
It's my rights, right?
Yes or no?
Bring me a supervisor.
So you don't want to show your ID?
Bring me a supervisor.
Sir.
Bring me your supervisor.
Sir, listen.
Bring me a
Listen,
supervisor.
Young man, listen, what you're doing
I'm not a
right
young
now
man.
is uncalled for.
So bring me a supervisor, and he will tell you
Why
himself.
do you want a supervisor, sir? Nobody's arresting you. You're not being detained.
Yeah, right then.
We're
So why do you want
verifying
to
that you're a guest
If
in the
you know,
building.
if I'm not being detained, there's no reason for you to ask me for my ID. Because I'm not committing a crime, or haven't committed a crime, or being
Sir.
suspected of committing a
You
crime.
don't have to commit a crime for us to ask for ID.
Yes,
Verifying that you're a guest in the building.
And I'm telling you,
understand?
and I'm telling you.
All right, but unfortunately, sir, people
Don't touch
lie.
me, don't touch me.
All right?
Yeah.
People lie. You understand
I
that,
understand
right?
people lie, but I'm
All
telling you,
right,
I'm a
so
visitor. I don't live in the building. If I live in the building, I would have told you I live in the
Sir,
building.
We're not gonna. You seem like a smart young man. I'm
Exactly.
not gonna argue with you, all right?
Exactly.
But unfortunately, people lie. That's why we have to ask for ID to make sure they live in the building.
If you
'Cause
bring me a
know what?
supervisor, then we talk. Other than that, I'm not answering you no more
All
questions.
right. Well, unfortunately, you guys gotta leave the hallway, all right?
Alright.
Thank you.
All right. So you see, next time don't try to. Cause I don't work for you.
Sir, have a nice
I don't
night,
work for you.
man.
You work for me. As a public servant, you're supposed
That's
to respect
right,
my rights.
that's right.
So you break. So you.
Your taxes pay my bills, right?
Exactly,
Your
yes.
taxes pay my check.
Of course, yes.
All right, brother. I need a raise.
All right. So you need a raise.
Have
So
a
then,
nice
so then
night,
you do more
brother.
hours.
Have a nice night, man. Take care. You got all that on your phone?
Yes, I got it on my
All
phone. What's the
right.
name and badge number?
Officer Anderson,
All right. Your name?
17270. Look, you got it already?
Yes,
That was
I got
kind of
it.
quick. Officer Anderson,
I got it.
17270.
Okay.
Pierce
What's your name
and badge number?
Have a nice night,
It's
sir.
right there in front of you, right?
All right. And what prison you from?
You have a nice night,
PSA
sir.
4.
PSA 4.
Yeah, you want to come over?
Yeah, I could come over here if you
It's
just
Avenue
super.
C and 8th Street.
Oh, thank you. I live right around the corner. so
Bro, you have ID verified?
tell Officer Perez that I'll be over there. You heard? Thank you. Don't try to punk me. I know my rights.
In New York, police officers cannot legally stop and demand ID from someone unless they have reasonable suspicion that a crime has been, is being, or is about to be committed. Simply standing in a hallway and receiving noise complaints does not meet this legal threshold. To accuse someone of trespassing, an officer must have evidence that the person is unlawfully present. Here, the individual states that he is a visitor. Since guests are legally allowed in private buildings, demanding proof of residency without a valid reason is an overreach. The officer admits that the individual is neither being detained nor arrested, meaning there is no legal obligation to present identification. The individual properly requested a supervisor. Officers are generally expected to comply with such requests, especially in situations where legal rights are in question. Ignoring or resisting this request raises concerns about transparency and accountability. Officers should only approach someone if they have a legitimate reason, such as a clear trespassing complaint from the building management or evidence of criminal activity. A vague noise complaint is insufficient.
That's very rude and unprofessional.
I don't care.
What's
Just
your
like
name and
you, so
badge
take
number?
a look. Don't have to give it
Name
to
and
you.
badge number?
Don't
Not
have
part
to
of your
give it.
policy of the Portland
Nope.
Police?
because You're not. This is not part of your thing.
So you're in your official duties?
I am.
And your name and badge number?
Don't have to give that to you, sir. Time
Don't
to go.
have to give it.
You don't. You are being recorded.
All right. I would like to submit a public records request.
Go ahead. You have to call records.
No, I can do it in person. I can do it in
Not with
person
me.
verbally. You are a public employee. You have to take it or you break the law.
This incident involves a man recording police activity at the scene of an accident. Officer Mina Cavalli-Singer attempts to push the man away and refuses to provide her name and badge number when requested, despite being a public employee. The individual insists on submitting a public records request for the officer's information, citing his legal rights. The individual recording is protected by the First Amendment and can legally film public officials while they are performing their duties, as long as they don't interfere with the officer's actions.
Yeah.
Get away from the car, dude. Go. Get away from the car.
I'm fine.
Get away from the car. Get away from the car.
Committing a crime?
Get away from the car.
Get away from the car.
Am I committing a crime?
You don't need to be videotaping the car. Get away from the car.
I can videotape. It's public.
Get away from the car. I'm asking you to do that right now.
Okay,
Just go.
I just respectfully decline. Just checking out the car.
Respectfully move from the car.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Don't worry.
Go
Calm
away.
down.
It's
Calm
a crime.
down.
Go away.
What's a crime?
You
Filming
cannot
in public?
photograph people's our computers.
We have computers.
Anything the eyes can see, I
Nope,
can videotape.
You cannot.
You can walk
It's
right
time
now.
That's
to
how
go.
that goes.
This is a crime scene.
Don't touch me.
Then,
Don't touch
then
me.
leave.
I have committed no crime.
Then leave. We're asking you,
You have
to
no
leave. This
authority
is a crime scene.
unless I've committed a
We're
crime.
you're in a crime scene.
Tape it
so
off.
Exit. We don't have to.
Where's the tape?
So
Dude, why do you gotta be like that, man? We're just asking you
Why
nicely.
do you gotta be like that? I'm doing nothing wrong. I have
We're
committed no
asking you to
crime.
leave. You're in a crime scene. Would you like to be detained?
Would you like to put up some tape?
No, I don't
So
have
the public
to.
know? Here, I'll be on the sidewalk, which is public.
Then go.
I know that is
Get
a
out
private.
of the crime scene.
Where's the tape?
Oh my God.
Put up tape.
No, I don't have to.
I mean, you do if you want me to not stand where I please. I can stand where I please in public. It's a sidewalk.
We're just asking not to
This is a
videotape the
medical
inside of our car.
emergency.
Why do you have to be so difficult and be so hostile? I'm not
Because
doing
we asked
anything
you to move
wrong.
away from the car.
And I
and you're
respectfully
not.
decline. That's what an ask is. When you ask, you
We
can
did.
expect a
It's time to
no
go.
You can-
or a
We
yes.
can play the dick game all you want. That's fine.
That's very rude and unprofessional.
I don't care.
What's
Just
your
like you,
name and
so
badge
take a
number?
walk. Don't have to give it
Name
to
and
you.
badge number?
Don't
Not
have
part
to
of your
give it to you.
policy of the Portland
Nope.
Police?
because You're not. This is not part of your thing.
So you're in your official duties?
I am.
And your name and badge number?
Don't have to give that to you, sir. Time
Don't
to go.
have to give it.
You don't. You are being recorded.
All right. I would like to submit a public records request.
Go ahead. You have to call records.
No, I can do it in person. I can do it in
Not with
person
me.
verbally. You are a public employee. You have to take it or you break the law. Hey, you are quite professional.
If you don't mind, if you can just wait over there, I'm sure somebody's gonna come want to talk to you if you want to talk to us. We're just trying to make sure.
I was really just kind of checking stuff out. You know, like when I came up, I was like, hey, what's going on? And I really appreciate
I
you
get it.
like being
I
like, oh,
understand.
guy got hit. Yeah, dude, it's terrible. I mean, what they just did was like totally unprofessional and really rude.
Well, yeah, if you just
And they
wanna
won't
wait
even
over
give me
there-
their names. Can I have your name and badge
Sure.
number?
Right there. Guevara, G-U-E-V-A-R-A 63452.
Thank you. Very
Right.
professional.
If you want to
You
just
should
wait over
learn
there,
from this guy.
just wait for us over there, all right? And then we
Okay.
can get to you. So.
Well, can you give me your name and badge number,
Sure.
please?
Hauser, right there, I believe.
Uh-huh.
63215.
And what's that officer's
You
name?
can ask her.
Okay, can I submit a
number.
public records request to an employee right now?
Okay.
Verbally? I would like her name, badge number,
I don't know
her
her
date
her
of
badge-
hire,
I don't know
her
badge
salary.
number.
You
Her
don't-
name is on her.
Well, I'm
badge.
submitting a public request to you,
I
and
don't
it's
have her badge
we
number.
don't-
I
we
can't
as
don't
a
have
something
as
I
a
don't
public
know.
employee, you
Okay.
have to take the request, and then you go submit it to where you need to,
We can
and then
play
you
this
get it
game
back
all
to
you
me.
want. I don't know her badge
I'm not
number.
playing
I
a
can't
game.
give
I'm
you.
talking about my rights and the law.
And you asked my badge number. You asked his badge number.
Yeah.
We provided that. I
Very
don't
nice
have
and
her number.
cordial.
You wanna
Yeah,
wait
she
over
wouldn't
there?
give it to me, so
You
now
wanna wait
I'm
over
submitting
there?
a public records
Okay,
request
you wanna wait over
verbally.
there?
If you don't take it, that's breaking the law.
You can wait over there.
Do you want me to make up a number? Because I don't know her badge number.
Well, I'm submitting a public records request right
Do you
now
want
to
me to
a
make up
public
a number? I
employee
don't know her
on
badge number.
you're on duty as a public employee.
Under Oregon law, police officers are required to identify themselves when performing their official duties, especially when asked by a member of the public. By refusing to provide her name and badge number, Officer Cavalli-Singer is violating public accountability standards. Oregon's public records law requires that public employees, including law enforcement officers, respond to requests for records, including identifying information. This includes requests for names, badge numbers, and any other public records related to an officer's duties. An individual has the right to submit a public records request verbally or in writing, and it must be accepted by public employees. The officer's refusal to accept the request directly violates this law. The public is entitled to know which officials are involved in law enforcement actions, and the law ensures that this information is accessible.
You have to take
I
a
don't
public
have that
records request.
information. I can't.
I'm not
make up a
asking
number.
for it right now. I'm giving you a
just
public
did.
records request.
Okay.
So you have,
And
I think,
I've asked
5
you-
or
we
10
asked you
business
to
days to
kindly
get it to
step
me
away
by
from the
law.
car and not videotape the.
Yeah, you
the
kindly asked, I
information.
kindly declined.
Okay,
And she touched me, which is assault, because I didn't do anything
I'm
wrong.
declining
I
being
broke.
able to give you a number that I don't know, so I'm not able to give that number to you. I gave you my number. That's what I know.
Yeah, that's why I'm submitting a public records request formally at the moment to public employees. I would like the following information. Her
we
name.
can't give you that. We don't have it.
No, but you submit the public records
we don't-
request,
we don't
and
submit
then
stuff
they
like
get
that.
that back. You have to as a public employee.
If you want
That's
to
the
wait
law.
over there,
That's the law. I would not break the law if I were you. It's not a big deal. This is not like a pissing match. Like,
I
we can just
provided
be
you my
professional.
information,
And
that's the information
and
I
thank you
know.
for that.
Yeah, you're
And thank you for not touching me like she did.
Okay, yeah, you bet.
Because I don't like to be touched.
Well, I don't like people videotaping the information we have on our computer screens.
But there's nothing you can do about it
do that.
except close your computer. That's the thing you can do.
Heck yeah.
You have to create the privacy, because you know, like anything in public that I can see, I can
Sorry, man.
videotape.
I'm glad I
That's
give
the
you-
law.
I'm glad I give you some content.
I hope you do better next time. You're doing good, kind of pulling back and being a little better, but that last comment was pretty rude.
I just asked you to step away from the car, right?
And I said no.
Okay. And I
What? How egregious is that?
I told you to step away.
Isn't it egregious to just say no?
You said no, I said step away.
Well, maybe I can ask you. Give me $50. Give me $50.
The man mentions that the officer touched him, which he interpreted as unwanted physical contact. While this may not technically qualify as assault, which requires harmful or offensive contact, it could potentially be viewed as harassment under Oregon law, which defines harassment as unwelcome physical contact or repeated unwanted communication. By refusing to identify herself and touching the man, Officer Cavalli-Singer is supposed to face internal disciplinary action. Her refusal to engage in the public records request process is also problematic as it directly violates Oregon's transparency laws. Incidents like this highlight the ongoing need for police accountability and proper training in handling public interactions. Officers are public servants and must adhere to the public records law as well as show respect for citizens' rights to peacefully observe their work.
Supervisor was just here. I wonder if this is him here. Pretty good.
Questions that I can help you with?
Yeah, that lady's name and badge number.
Officer over there?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I can get a card for you that has her name and badge number on it.
that would be great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else I can answer questions about what's going on, or?
No, the one officer was really great, and he was just like, "Oh, a guy got hit," and I was like, "Oh man, that's terrible."
Yeah. Sounds like you got.
This guy's kind of touch and go, but she actually touched me, which is technically assault. I didn't do anything to break the law, and I don't like to be touched if I'm not breaking the law. So
It's understandable.
So once I get her name and badge number, I'll probably submit a complaint.
Okay. Just for your information, I guess, just so somebody maybe doesn't pick at you, make fun of it. It's not technically assault. Assault, you have to have some kind of protracted injury of some sort. It'd be more like harassment would probably what you look for.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know. I like that.
You know.
Yeah, state to state's different.
States
Yeah.
have like battery, for example. We don't have that. It's not a thing here.
Uh-huh.
You know, other things have like brandishing, like fire. We don't have that. It's called menacing. So it's just different term labels.
Okay.
So just I like to let people know what to, you know. That way somebody's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, thanks for that. I really appreciate that,
It's
man.
your right to know
Yeah.
what, you know, you're talking about. So
Uh-huh.
let me get you what you need.
She's out of here.
Oh, I can get it for you.
She'll go to the hospital.
Oh, she'll go to the hospital.
Okay.
I'll get it for you. 1 second.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the professionalism.
You good, right? You got Emmy's taken care of? Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
We'll be out here in 2 seconds.
I wasn't trying to get in a grudge match, but
No, I hear you. I hear you. So good.
yeah, I gotta say, like, you know, I really appreciate good cops. It's a hard job, and I think just some aren't as well trained to interact with the public under the circumstances of an event like this, and that's part of what I'm out here for, is just to like see how they're doing, try and help them along, really. But yeah, thanks again for that correction on what statute that might be.
Yeah, basically harassment is like any kind of unwanted physical contact. Somebody comes up, they push you up, they poke you, whatever. It's like where you're not injured, but it's you didn't want the contact, right?
Right.
Harassment can also it's kind of, I don't want to say redundant, but there's different levels, like harassment at physical level, harassment of like somebody's like pestering you or texting you over and over
like
again.
yelling at you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's like a verbal harassment, so to speak, like it's more called telephonic harassment. But there's a bunch of sub caveats basically on like certain things can qualify into this broader term of harassment. But then the assaults here, I don't know how long you've been in Oregon. Assault 1, 2, and 3 just vary based on either the weapon or method used, say gun, knife, fist, and then the level of injury you sustained. So that those both have to be like you have to rise a certain level to move it up one.
Awesome. I feel like I just got a little mini law school lesson. I really appreciate it, man. I mean, this is great because I'm a learner. I like to learn.
I hear you.
And
I mean, you live here. You at least should be able to know, what the laws are. And
right. I'm just a few blocks from here, and I'm like, oh, what's happened in my neighborhood?
I hear you. Did you move here recently, or you've been here a while?
I've been in Oregon since like 08. But I've been
here in Portland though. Or let me, because you say you live like in this area recently?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I've been in the Portland area kind of on and off since like 2012.
So you should probably see
the
shift of how it's been different times. So.
Yeah. Portland's gone through some real highs and lows.
So I think we're on the upward trend, hopefully.
I think so too.
But you know, craziness happens at all hours and times, right?
Yeah, I mean,
just be careful out here. You know,
yeah,
it can get a little wild.
Yeah, well, and for better or worse, there was only up to go from 2020.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
you can't go much lower than that, hopefully. So this is me, and then on the back, that's her last name, Cavalli-Singer, and it's 59104.
Okay, man, I just really super appreciate it.
No problem. Hey, you have a good day, my friend.
You too, buddy. Bye-bye. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how a good cop, that guy right there, I'm definitely getting a accommodation, but not the officer who just touched me for no reason and threatened to detain or arrest me. Oh my God, isn't that crazy? How quickly? Don't look at a curse. Don't look at my laptop.